Today we're going to dive in on a special video based on what's at the top of everyone's mind, the housing market, and why it's going to be okay. Stay with me here. Let's go. So Fed raises the Fed funds rate 0.75%. Ironically, the mortgage market is reacting beautifully, as is to be expected, because it shows the Fed is going to take a stern stance against inflation. Why does that matter? We'll talk about it in a minute, because it is positive for the housing market. So where are we at? Well, let's look back at the history first. If you go back to the late 70s, when the Fed chair was Burns and Volcker, look at inflation go from 7 to 14%. Mortgage rates surged from 12 to 18. The Fed funds, they got really aggressive and they went really high on that. The response, inflation tanked, and so did mortgage rates. But we entered a recession. Greenspan, I'll let you look across the chart. What do you see there? You see it repeat itself. So here we are with Jerome Powell, who today raised the Fed funds rate 0.75%. And what should happen with inflation? It should drop. Till that time, expect mortgage rates to go up, which they have been doing. And what are we doing about the economy as a whole? What happens with the history of mortgage rates as they increase the Fed funds rate? Traditionally, mortgage rates go down. After these rate hikes, as you see here, mortgage rates go down. This goes back to 2016. When they started talking about the runoff of the balance sheet, mortgage rates went up, as you see here, and they slowed that, and mortgage rates went down through the rate hikes, okay? And they stopped it because what was happening there? COVID. What happened? Mortgage rates plunged. So they're taking a very measured approach here right now, guys. This is very important. Not to get super technical, but pay attention to the 10-year and the 2-year yield, because it's the inversion that is happening right now, signs of recession, and go all the way back to 1970, and it's happened. So as that yield curve has inverted, recession, here we are. It started in COVID. It was a brief recession there. And here we are with inversion on the yield curve right now. What also is an indicator of recessions coming? Unemployment rates. People freezing hirings and laying people off. And go back in time, all the way back to 1950. Look what happens as the unemployment rate goes up. Recessions follow suit. Every time. You've seen that over time, okay? So what happens to mortgage rates during recessions? Through and after, they go down all the way back to 1980. They went down following the recession for a brief period of time and then went up because it was double dip on that recession there. So going forward there, but the housing through recessions. This is 9 recessions dating back to 1960. And you will see all the way back to 1970 that 8 out of the last 9 recessions, housing prices stay strong. The outlier, the housing crisis. That recession was not created by the economy. Rather, for those of us old hat, the industry, it was created by housing, massive amount of supply of homes available, the lending standards, etc. Every other recession, home prices have gone up. This is important stuff to talk to your sellers about. What do we have right now? Well, look at 2007 and 8, massive amounts of supply. Where are we at now? Extreme difference in terms of amount of supply. So if we go into recession, doesn't mean home prices are going to go down. Based on the data you see here, what else do we have? We have 14 million more households than 2007. We have a much stronger housing market with much less supply. People are talking to you about 2006, 2007, 2008. You have the information to educate them why this is not the same. This is very different, but you got to draw out. So those in trading or crypto, zoom out. Okay, because the data would support other listings. We all know that. And if right now there were 1 million listings, how many are actually already under contract? At 50, 60%. So if there's really, 500,000 active listings, if that were the case, again, we have a massive supply demand issue. So what do we know? We know that once they get inflation in check, mortgage rates will come plunging down. It's happened every time they get inflation in check. I showed you the chart from the different Fed chairs. What do you know about housing? It typically goes up following a recession. Right now, we have a massive shortage of supply of homes. Put that all together, educate your borrowers, your buyers, your sellers, because this is not 2007. And so therefore, if you have questions and want to dive deeper, or you want this information to share with your database, you want me to verse you so you can be the GOAT, I don't need to be even included in that, reach out to me or schedule some time. Calendly.com/mortgage maestro. Stronger together. Keep going, guys. This market is actually in a much better place than the media is leading your clients to believe, and therefore causing them to take inaction.